Hello everyone, welcome to my chemistry channel BL Das, short and sweet in chemistry. Now I am going to explain the chemical reactivity or activity related to 10th class. Now the chapter is chemical reactions and equations, and this is part 3. Already in part 1, 2 I have explained so many activity based on 10th class and chapter that is chemical reaction and equations. Now we will see the part 3 that is activity 1. Now in activity 1, take few crystals of lead nitrate. Few crystals of lead nitrate test tube, heat strongly with the help of spirit lamp. That means you will take a crystal. Lead nitrate is colorless one, and here you take that crystal and solid one. After that you see the lead nitrate on heating, it gives what? You heat by the help of spirit lamp or Bunsen burner, and now you will see observation. On heating, some sound is produced, just like a small sound, a very small sound is produced continuously until the whole lead nitrate is heated and total brown gas is produced. That means lead nitrate on heating, it produces brown gas. What is that brown gas? This brown gas is that here the nitrogen dioxide. What is the name? It is nitrogen dioxide. So, inference, what you can say, what are the product main? Nitrogen dioxide, which is brown color, and oxygen, that is colorless, and PbO, that is also colorless. This is lead oxide. This is nitrogen dioxide, that is brown color. Inference, what is the conclusion? Lead nitrate is a colorless crystal. On heating, it gives, the sound is called cracking sound. The small sound continuously, that is called cracking sound produced. Brown color gas is, this one brown color gas is produced on heating. That gas is nitrogen dioxide, NO2. Please remember the formula NO2, nitrogen dioxide, PbO, lead oxide. And oxygen, you know, oxygen since it is a gas, that is why it is written as O2. O2 means molecule of oxygen. Oxygen gas always presented by molecular form, so O2, oxygen gas. And lead oxide, that is also produced, that formula is PbO. And now lead is plumbum. Then what is about lead? You should know about lead. Lead is known as plumbum. Its symbol is Pb. Pb plus 2, that is plumbus. Pb plus 4, that is plumbing. So lead nitrate, that is PbNO3 whole 2. PbNO3 whole 2. So now how the formula existing? Pb you know plus 2 charge and NO3 minus 1. So 1 will come to here, 2 will come to here. And what is the formula? PbNO3 whole 2. Lead oxide, PbO. Pb, that charge is plus 2, O charge is minus 2. So the formula is PbO. Now experiment, second experiment, activity number 2, and the experiment, take a plastic mug. Here you will see the hydrogen oxygen is produced by the help of electrolysis of water. Then how can you do in 10th class? That is main important activity in this chapter. Drill 2 holes on the base. Take a plastic mug, make a hole and put a rubber stopper and insert carbon electrode. You can buy from the shop. Carbon electrode. This carbon electrode, that is your graphite, and carbon electrode you put in the rubber stopper. Attach this one and connect these electrodes. The what electrode? Carbon electrodes to a 6-volt battery. That means first you take a plastic mug, make a hole and put the rubber stopper, and in the rubber stopper you put carbon electrode. Then and it is attached to the 6-volt battery. That means the circuit is completed and filled with the mug with water. Inside mug you add water so that electrodes are immersed. Otherwise the reaction will not start. Electrolysis will not start. That is why you put water, you add water until the electrodes are immersed. Then here it should be acidified. Unless the electrolysis will not happen. The water should be acidified. That is why few drops of sulfuric acid you will add. Few drops of sulfuric acid add. Then what happens? Since the battery is connected and that is having 6 volt, 2 electrodes are immersed inside the rubber stopper and having the dilute sulfur 2 drops added to water. Then what happens here? The reaction starts. The reaction starts, electrolysis of water produce hydrogen and oxygen. So to take test tube and invert them over the carbon electron where the gases are produced, hydrogen, oxygen gases are produced. That is why you take the test tube and invert it over the carbon electrode. Then switch on. Till now the current is not switch on. That means the circuit is not completed. Then you attach that battery to the properly and 2 electrodes join here and leave the apparatus for undisturbed for some time. Then leave it, forget. Then after that you see some reactions in water that is stopped, and so air bubbles are formed with the electrodes. That air bubbles, that means they are hydrogen, oxygen. That means here you can find the 2 test tubes. In the both test tube are not same. The volume of the air is not same. And then what is the meaning? When the reaction starts, electrolysis occurs. Then here hydrogen and gas produced, but they are not in the same volume. Then what happened here? Here you will see in test tube containing more gas, that is hydrogen, because from the equation you can see 2 water when molecule water analyzed, 2 molecules are hydrogen, 1 molecule oxygen. That means oxygen is half, or you can say hydrogen is 2 times more than oxygen. So it bonds. What is that? What the test tube contains hydrogen. You tried for burning. Then this gas which is hydrogen in a test tube that bonds with a pop sound. Pop sound means very very sweet and sound that will not disturb anybody. That is called pop sound. In other test tube contain less gas. Now this is the more 2 times. It is 2 times. It is 2 times. It is 1 time. 1 time. That means here oxygen is 1 time, hydrogen 2 times. Then now this oxygen, that is very half of the hydrogen. But what is the main property? The main property that it helps to burn the candle. That means oxygen is helpful for burning and hydrogen itself burning. So that is why you can say this is hydrogen oxygen produced by the electrolysis of water. The volume of hydrogen is twice that of oxygen. It is sure from the equation and also practically we observe, and so you know about the. Come to inference. In inference, what you learn? What is the main characteristic of the electrolysis of water, hydrogen and oxygen? Now electrolysis of water gives hydrogen oxygen, it is sure, I told before also, and here it is inference number 1. And second is hydrogen bonds the pop sound, because the characteristic of hydrogen, the property of hydrogen says that hydrogen always bonds, but oxygen help in bond. Then oxygen gas help to burn the candle, or you can say matchstick also burn with help of the oxygen gas. 2 volumes of water on electrolysis, or you can say 2 molecules. So instead of that you can say better. In 10th class it is good. 2 volumes of water. Electrolysis gives 2 volumes of hydrogen and 1 volume of oxygen. Are you clear? First you take water in a mug, but a mug should be filled. That having 2 holes with attached to the proper stopper. To that are electrode, and electrode is fixed. Then the battery is also connected, but is not, the current is switch on. The battery is not on, but only you connected. That having 6 volt battery. then R2 drops of sulfuric acid, because acidified water only gives hydrogen and oxygen on electrolysis. And now here it is observed one side 2 times volume of air that is occupied, and one side 1 volume. That is why, and it bonds the 2 times volume that bonds with the puff sound, 1 time volume that helpful for burning candle. The volumes of water electrolysis is 2 volumes of water and 1 volume of oxygen. Then come to active number 3. In active number 3, you take sodium sulfate solution in a test tube. What is meaning of sodium sulfate in test solution in a test tube? Actually, sodium sulfate is crystal 1. When you add water to it in a test tube, then becomes solution. So first you take a test tube, add sodium sulfate crystal, that is colorless one, and add water. Now shake it properly, sodium sulfate solution is produced. Then take barium chloride solution. How can you take barium chloride? Barium chloride also colorless, solid, crystal. So you take that one and add water in a test tube and shake it properly. Now barium chloride solution is prepared. Then what is duty? You will mix both the solution, barium chloride and sodium sulfate. Then white precipitate of barium sulfate is produced. The white precipitate, you can observe white color, some milk type. So it is also one type of magic you can see. You can show to others, because those are not knowing about chemistry. They are very interested in this, because how with colorless solution, with liquid, colorless liquid, clear liquid, when the both are mixed, how can you get a white color that looks like a milk? So it is very, very interesting experiment for the others. Now sodium sulfate aqua. Why you are writing aqua? Because the solid dissolved in water. Barium chloride aqua, because this is soluble in water and that makes solution. So barium sulfate, that is not soluble, and NaCl also soluble in water. You can write aqua here also. Then what is the conclusion here? That means a barium sulfate white color precipitate is formed. So what you will take? Sodium sulfate aqua, barium chloride, it gives barium sulfate and NaCl. Then what is inference and what is conclusion? You know that sodium sulfate is a crystalline solid, soluble in water, and it gives aqueous solution. Similarly, barium chloride also colorless crystalline solid, and now soluble in water gives aqueous solution. And barium sulfate is a precipitate not soluble in water. That is why you can observe when the two solutions combine, it gives that main important white color precipitate. When two solutions of barium chloride and sodium sulfate combine, a white precipitate is formed, that is barium sulfate. What is that barium sulfate? White precipitate. And sodium chloride is soluble in water. So what is the formula of barium sulfate? That is BaSO4. Now you will go to activity 4, then experiment. The copper powder you take in a china dish and heat strongly. You take copper powder in a china dish. You know china dish is a white color, and that bowl just like looks a bowl, white bowl. And you take the china, because it is resistant to heat. So you take china dish and add copper powder. Heat strongly. Observation. What observation? The surface of the copper powder becomes coated with black. Now see, copper powder light brownish color, because it is the color of the copper. When you heat this copper, that is solid powder, and oxygen gas with the help of heat, you heat it. What you will do? You will heat. Otherwise, only you will write a mix. That has no meaning. You should heat it. And here what happened? The copper 2. Copper 2 means the valency, the charge is 2. So here 2, here minus 2. The copper 2 oxide, the black color. What is the color of the copper oxide? Black color. Copper is what is inference? Copper is a metal, yes. On heating, copper powder gives black coating on the surface. That is correct. And what is that? That is copper 2 oxide is black. So what is the formula? Here the formula is Cu plus 2O minus 2, because the both 2 cancel here. So here it will produce copper oxide. Copper oxide color is black, And what is the formula copper oxide? Cu plus 2 and O minus 2, both cancel. Now if you see what is the when it is solid, when it is metal form, here the charge is 0. When it is oxidized, this is called oxidation. This is called copper is oxidized to plus 2. So here what happened? The 0 changes to plus 2. And here copper 2 oxide, which is black. I hope it is clear to you different experiment, how to do electrolysis of water and how to heat copper with oxygen. So these are the how the barium chloride solution and sodium sulfate solution, how they combine, they form barium sulfate as a white precipitate. I hope it is clear to you and hope you will subscribe my channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks again to all.